Well, we went on this weekend to what we every year we consider the toughest conference road weekend. And as I said last week, it was going to be challenging for us for practice just because we obviously have things we want to get better at on our side of the net. We had two very tough teams to prepare for, and then just trying to find the balance of the rest and being physically ready. So challenging week for practice, but I was proud with our effort in practice this week. This weekend, I could not be prouder of our kids and the team effort that we put forth. And obviously heading to Missouri State, a tough team that's very deep and very talented. We went into that match, and I thought the first two games it was a battle, and we ended up going into the locker room at the end of the second game being tied 1-1. Come out in the third game, and I thought we were a little bit flat, but not terrible. But Missouri State was just completely on fire. They were digging everything, but besides that, they were digging into system, which allowed them to transition into a very good offense. And we really had no answers. I thought we were playing pretty well, but Missouri State was just on fire. And we found ourselves at one point being down 19-10, and I think one of the things that we talked about before heading into the weekend was guts, and that it was going to take two really gutsy performances this weekend to end up on the winning side. And our effort in Game 3 was the epitome of that. To be able to come back being down 19-10 against a team that was very hot just showed a lot of guts. And I was very proud of our effort. We kind of clawed our way back a few runs here and there, and we were able to pull out that third game 27-25. But besides that, I think I was even prouder with the fourth game because Missouri State has won games just like they lost that third game. So they were very capable. We saw that on video. They've made some pretty big comebacks. So obviously we felt we had a little bit of momentum going into that fourth game, but it still was going to take the same effort, the same focus, and the same execution of what we were doing. And our kids really took that to heart. Every single point, they got after it in Game 4, and we were able to hold on and win that match in 4, and just an overall gutsy performance. And then we turn around and have Wichita State, who is at that time was first in the league by themselves because Illinois State actually got beat this weekend by Indiana State on Friday. So they were the league leader at the time. And I guess the best way to say it is just another gutsy performance. Our kids just executed everything so well this weekend, but I think the biggest thing is it didn't always go our way, but we didn't allow that to affect what we were doing. We were able to win against a very good team. I talked last week about the things that Wichita State does well, and win in 3 games, but 3 very tight games. And I think that makes even a bigger difference because they're very senior oriented. We're not. And to be able to hold on when the game is on the line at the end, anybody's game, and to be able to pull out those wins, I think showed a lot of growth in our team this weekend. It's really hard to point out individual performance when you have a weekend like this. I think a couple things, our blocking was extremely well. I talked about last weekend that part of our game had improved, but we were just getting good touches on the ball, some key stuff blocks. We were funneling the ball to our defense, so very proud of our blocking and the continued growth in that. I thought our offense picked it up. We had decent hitting percentage against 2 of the best defensive teams in the conference, so was really proud of where our offense is going. We still have ways to go in that area. I loved the confidence that we played with. I loved the trust that we played with. 2 different things when we talk about those. I also would like to point out our 2 captains, Shelby and Macy, because we all know when you're struggling and when you're doing well, we all know the right things to say and the right things to communicate to your team. But I think sometimes we can say the words, but our body language, our facial expressions, what we're doing doesn't really show the same thing that we're saying. And I think that's been a little bit of our problem over the last few weeks. We're saying the right things, but we're not actually showing that in our face and what we're doing. And Shelby and Macy were amazing this weekend. Obviously, they bring a lot on the court as far as production, but it was way above and beyond that this weekend. They led their team, and their team definitely followed this weekend. So I was very proud of their effort. Wichita had a great crowd, but I thought we responded to that very well, and just a lot of that was the leadership that we had by our 2 captains. So very proud of their effort as well. So just a great weekend for us in terms of a lot of things that we needed to get better at, but also just, again, the confidence and the trust that we had in one another, I think, were the 2 biggest things. in my mind. So it took everybody, including the people on the bench. I thought our sideline kids were doing the right things and saying the right things as well. So every single person was a part of that. We obviously still have a lot of volleyball to play. We're definitely taking it one day at a time because there are things we still want to get better at in practice. Our team knows it. And I think that this weekend will help motivate them even more to keep those practices where they have been. We have one match this weekend, which I think is really helpful because we'll get the opportunity to get in there and really focus on ourselves for a couple days and then turn around and be able to focus another couple days on Drake, which is who we have this weekend on Saturday. And Drake, if you remember, they kind of gave us a run for our money the last time they were here. They are at the bottom of the conference, but that means nothing to me. Like I said, Illinois State got beat by Indiana State, who is second to bottom. So that really makes no difference. And when you look at Drake, they always play us tough at home. When they were here, they were missing their top player, Cassie Efkin. I'm not 100% sure whether she's going to be back or not. And again, that those interstate matches, I really think put a lot of other things into it. So we'll definitely have to be prepared for Drake. But just looking forward to this week and being able to focus a little bit on ourselves. Also rest a little bit. Our kids are definitely worn out in a lot of different ways, but then being able to get back on the court and continue to get after it. But very proud, obviously, of our effort this weekend. Any questions?
Have you